Do you need to be an expert? Think about how many times you've heard this. Have you heard of the 10,000 hour rule or the idea of deliberate practice? Both of these ideas push expertise. But do you really need to be an expert at one thing or specialize in a specific field or know your niche? This blog is about exploring outside of the box, looking at different ways to do things outside of the typically accepted advice. So far, we've challenged the idea of chasing your dreams. We've looked hard at whether you need a niche or not. And now we're going to challenge the idea that you need to specialize. Sometimes you hear an idea so often that you accept it as fact without fully vetting whether this is the best advice for you. Specializing is one of those ideas. Hey, moms. Welcome to another episode of the Life Unboxed blog show, where we talk about all things momtrepreneur, from raising your kids to running a business, and the most important one, to keeping your sanity. I'm Jody the mom from lifeunboxed.blog, and if you're enjoying this content, you know what to do. So go ahead, do what you got to do. And remember, if you have questions, let me know what they are. I would love to do a show of your questions, so be sure to let me know. So, moms, it has been the day. Not a day where it's kind of like just one bad thing happens and then it just ruins your day, but just a lot of little things. And taken by themselves, it would not be a big deal. But then adding them all up together, it just kind of creates this, the snowball effect of the bad day. So, but I wanted to record and I wanted to get these in the can for you because I am excited about the topic. So, as I mentioned in the intro, we are going to talk about what it means to be a generalist and how to be a successful virtual assistant as one. There are so many ideas that we kind of just hear so often. We assume that they're correct and they're right. So, making sure you specialize in something is one of those ideas. So, we're going to challenge this today. Aren't you excited? I like challenging different ideas. And here's the thing, you don't have to agree with what I'm saying. All I am trying to do is maybe give you another perspective that we don't always hear. So let's go ahead and define what a generalist is. In a nutshell, a generalist is a person who is always learning. It is someone with a highly curious mind and seeks answers to satisfy her curiosity. It is someone who can integrate knowledge from various fields and come up with a solution to an unrelated problem. So bring in ideas and knowledge from all sorts of places and to kind of come up with a solution to a problem that may not be related to those fields of expertise. So, are you still asking yourself, but what is a generalist? Here is another definition from Range by David Epstein. People who start broad and embrace diverse experiences and perspectives while they progress. Okay, I know these definitions sound very academic, so I want to share my story with you. If you read my About page, then you know I started my virtual assistant business because I was laid off. This was a very scary time, wondering if we were going to make it, how we were going to make it, like kind of like that sinking feeling in the pit of your stomach that you wake up with every morning because you have no idea what the future is going to bring. You see, my income was 50% of our household income. So there was a lot to make up for in that differential there. So it was very scary. Before I was laid off, I was already looking at the possibility of becoming a virtual assistant. I wanted the flexibility to really break free from my 9 to 5, be my own boss, homeschool my kids, and just enjoy my life. I was tired of missing so much of my kids' lives because I was spending all my time in the office. So, the 3 month severance package that I received bridged the gap so I could see if I can make this virtual assistant thing work. In all of my research on starting a business, I came across two pieces of advice: specialize and find a niche. Reading this advice constantly was like a crushing blow. The voice in my head kept telling me that I would never be able to succeed. I would look at my husband with pleading eyes, hoping he had the answer to this question: what on earth am I supposed to specialize in? In the entirety of my career, there was only one job that I ever focused on just one thing, and I hated it. How in the world was I going to make money if I didn't have a specialty? Everywhere I turned, I was being told that this was the only way to succeed. Do these thoughts parade around in your mind too? Have you hesitated to start a business or a blog because you are a generalist? The knowledge and expertise you have to share is wide. But everywhere you look, you're being told that you must specialize or find a niche. Are you starting to believe these voices because everyone is saying it? There must be some truth to it, right? If everyone is saying it, then it has to be true. So I'm going to say something radical to you. You don't need a niche and you don't need to specialize. After 7 years as a virtual assistant, my broad knowledge and experience serves me well. I couldn't do what I do or serve the clients that I serve if I wasn't a generalist. Okay, so let's talk about the 5 traits of a master generalist. Now, being a generalist is, as mentioned in my story that I just told you, is very near and dear to me. And I know those feelings that kind of just churn in your gut and in your mind and in your heart when you hear people tell you over and over again, the only way to succeed is to follow this one path. So we're going to branch. We're going to branch off from that path a little bit. We're going to talk about the 5 benefits, or the 5 traits, benefits are coming next, of a master generalist. So number 1, a master generalist has a lot of experience. So a mark of a master generalist is usually the amount of experience they possess. This goes beyond just work experience. It encompasses your entire life. Number 2, a lot of knowledge. A master generalist has a curious mind. Whatever the interest, she will pursue knowledge to satisfy her curiosity, and in the process, gain knowledge. So there's always the pursuit of knowledge should always lead to gaining knowledge. Generalists tend to read a lot and from a wide variety of fields because they're curious about different things. Number 3, outside of the box solutions. When facing uncertain environments or uncommon problems, you want to turn to a master generalist because master generalists are open to contrary ideas and solutions. So, generalists are open to outside of the box solutions. That's why we have this website. That's our YouTube channel, blog, you know what it is. So generalists will look at unconventional problems, and rather than rely on past experience, they will pull knowledge from other areas of learning. So like the creator of the Nintendo gaming system, at a time when technology was changing quickly, Yokoi, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, so give me grace. So he embarked on a different approach. Instead of trying to come up with new technology, he decided to rethink existing technology to come up with outside of the box ideas with the items that already existed. Yokoi is the first to say, I don't have any particular specialist skills. I have sort of a vague knowledge of everything. So I first heard the story in Range by David Epstein, and the quote is also from Range. A generalist always needs to be learning, whether that's through reading, taking classes, or tinkering around. This process never stops for a generalist. So, my career has never been a straight line. There have been so many twists and turns and changes in skills and job descriptions. But from my wide experience and knowledge, I am confident enough to say yes to almost anything because I have a proven track record of learning whatever I need that comes my way. So whatever I need to learn in order to do the job, I can do it. So it's very easy when I'm asked, "Hey, can you build this website for me?" Say, well, I've only built mine, but I can build yours too." So, proven track record of being able to learn anything. And for our fifth one, a master generalist has a curious mind. And this really goes hand in hand with number 4. If you want to learn, you really do need to start with a curious mind. How does everything work? Is there another way to do this? Always ask the questions to understand why something is done one way. Because if you can understand the why of something, then you can work at improving it or changing it. Are any of these traits sounding familiar to you? Are you starting to answer the question for yourself, what is a master generalist? And my friend, my fellow mother, are you one? Are you a part of this unique group of generalists? So now that we've looked at the 5 traits of a generalist, let's look at the benefits. Because we're breaking from the popularly accepted advice, we need to convince people of the benefits of being a generalist. So number 1, learn new things. So this is the top benefit of being a generalist. You get to learn new things, and usually that learning translates into experience. That experience translates into new skills to offer your clients, or premium skills, advanced skills to offer your clients. Number 2 of the benefits of being a generalist is greater confidence. And I'm not talking about cocky or overconfident. I do believe that you need to also be realistic. So I'm not talking about like fake it till you make it or just being overconfident and stuff. But as you prove yourself and you have evidence that you can learn anything, it will give you a greater confidence to say yes to clients and projects. So this is confidence based on evidence. I do remember, it was a while ago, but coming to the conclusion, it was one of those, I would call it an epiphany moment where you just have like this clear realization, like, I really can do anything. And again, it wasn't this cocky swagger, I don't swagger, thought. It was very much just like this realization, like, yeah, like there really isn't anything that I can't do, because after working so many years in so many different fields, or just with the with various job descriptions or a variety or whatever you want to call it of job descriptions, like I have that proven track record that yes, I can learn anything and I pretty much can do anything except maybe like nuclear chemistry. That one might be a little iffy. So you have a greater confidence because you have the evidence to prove that you are able to learn anything you need to get the job done. Number 3 is the ability to adapt in uncertain circumstances. So wide experience and knowledge lets the master generalist handle new problems with uncommon solutions. The master generalist is able to pull knowledge from other fields and apply it to different problems. And the fourth one is broad experience. You have a lot of experience. And this is definitely a benefit of a generalist. You just have a lot of experience in different fields. Like you really do, because of your curious mind and wanting to know how things work. And so, really diving into learning how different things work, or if you've had careers and job opportunities that um, were really wide, you naturally just get that broad experience. And the fifth benefit that you have of being a generalist is you get to beat boredom. Have you ever been in a specialized job? You know, the kind of job where you do the same thing over and over and over again every single week. And you start running on autopilot. Some people like this type of work, and hey, that's great. But most generalists will go mad in this kind of job. Trust me, I spent 2 years in one particular job that's all it was. The same thing over and over and over again. And I will be honest with you, I think I cried almost every single night because I hated the job so much. So, the benefit of being a generalist is you get to beat boredom. And as a generalist, you are not limited to the clients or projects you accept. So, this helps to keep things fresh and changing for you. And for some of us who don't like the same things over and over again, this makes work so much easier and better. My fellow mom and fellow generalist, I hope the question, what is a generalist, has been answered for you. And I hope you're encouraged that you don't need to specialize to be successful in business. You can be a master generalist and be successful. So let me ask you this. Are you a master generalist? Are you ready to start a successful business as a virtual assistant without a niche? I know, radical thinking here. We're breaking beyond the niche and the specialization. We're getting wild and crazy over here. So, if you're ready to turn your broad experience and wide knowledge into a profitable business, I want you to download the free 20-page workbook, and it's going to walk you through the process of starting a business without a niche. And I will leave the link in the description below, or you can always hop on over to lifeunboxed.blog and get your workbook. So I am so glad you joined me today. This is just scratching the surface as we talk through in the next couple of weeks on what is a generalist as well. So this is a 3-part series, and this was part 1. Part 2, we're going to compare the generalist versus specialist. And then in part 3, we're going to really dive into how to be successful as a generalist. So stick around. I really want you to walk through all of this with me. And I'm really excited about it. This is something that is near and dear to my heart because I cannot tell you the number of times I have wrestled with this very question of how am I supposed to specialize? What am I supposed to do? Because nothing in my career was ever directed to specialization. So we're going to be radical. We're going to be wild and crazy and radical. And we're going to talk about how to be successful as a generalist. So if you want to help spread the word, and I really hope you do, be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. You can listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. Remember to check out the Life Unboxed store for all of your Mom Boss merch. And you can support the show with coffee. I drink a lot of it. So if you would like to give me support my coffee habit, because I do have 6 kids and I do run 2 businesses, so lots of coffee is required. You can visit Ko-fi, that's KOFI.com/lifeunboxedblog. And you can buy this Tired Mama a cup of joe. For more great mompreneur content, follow Life Unboxed on social media or check out lifeunboxed.blog. Be sure to share the podcast and video with your friends. I truly appreciate your support, and I will see you in part 2 of our series.